great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of invasion. Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. It's 11 a.m. Central on Friday, June 21st. We're going to go live for the next hour, and then I'm out of here going up to Chicago for my niece's engagement party, so that should be fun. We'll check out the office. And in case I haven't let you know, my son Yusuf will be attending law school in Chicago next September, this coming September. So we're excited about that. And we're going to go check out the campus. He's been there before, but he's really excited. So it's Noor and myself and Amani and Yusuf heading to Chicago. And then we're home all next week. So I'm very excited about that. It's been very good for my psyche and my health to be back here and be back with all of you. Always happy to share the love, share the knowledge, share what we're doing. I am dressed up on a Saturday because someone keeps asking me to co-host on TikTok. I fell for that once. Oh, no, I did it again. Can you please undo that? Oh my God, I did it again. Oh my God, how do I do this?
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing? I got a co-host now on TikTok. What's up?
I'm doing great. What about you?
I'm good. Did you have a question for me? I don't know how to undo this. Do you know how to undo this? I'm sort of doing a show right now. Let's see. How do I do this? I don't know. Can you please hop off the TikTok? You're co-hosting my show with me. I don't know how that happened. Can you turn it off?
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
You too.
I've been in the office all day filming videos. Were you able to get it? Let's see. I don't know how to do it. This is sort of strange, isn't it? Hello. Let me go ahead and put the link for everybody that needs it in the waiting room. Oh, I said today's Friday. Thank you, Kala. Yeah, today's Saturday. For those of you that didn't know, today's Saturday. Marion's still over there. She's just chilling. She's trying to figure it out. Thank you, Marion, for trying to figure that out. I appreciate it. All right. This is sort of discombobulating. All right. Bless ups, Daisy, to you. Hello to all of our friends. Hello to everybody. I'll be here for the next hour answering your immigration questions. I hope you're all doing well and that your Saturday is off to a good start. Thank you for correcting me. I'm going to go to AK, then Jack, then Ogina, but Ogina's got to turn her camera off. Then A, then N400 question because we don't have anybody on video. So we will go in that order. AK, hello.
Hi, Jim. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you doing?
Thank you for your time. I am good. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you. So I have a couple of questions. I'm just going to jump right into it and not take up too much of your time. So I applied for my N400 in February 21st. And I spoke to you in February, and you recommended that I filed for FOIA because my green card case was initially denied. It was through SIJ, Special Immigrant Juvenile. Mm-hmm. It was denied wrongfully, and then, there were some lawsuits, and they were just providing green cards to people without interviews, and I was one of them. And then you recommended I get the FOIA and then, kind of see for any notes or anything. So my first question is, that is a huge document. Probably 60, 70, 80 pages. I'm not sure how many, but is there anything specific that you know of I should be looking for?
That's actually a very thin FOIA. Most FOIAs are like 400 or 500 pages. So that's a very thin one. Yeah. No, I think you just have to go over it line by line and see if there's anything that gives you a clue.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I will do that. And my second question is, I had a ticket recently, like 2 weeks ago. It was a moving violation for unsafe lane change. Do I have to make any adjustments to my application, or Should I just mention it when I go for my interview?
For your address?
No, I was pulled over for unsafe lane change and I got a ticket.
Yeah, you'll tell them at your interview.
Okay, if they ask, right?
They will ask.
Okay, and then no need to update my application, right?
All right. No, not now.
Okay, great. And just one last question: after the interview, is there a way to request for same day oath, or do they just do it on their?
It's their schedule, and it depends on the office. Which field office will you have your interview?
It's on Long Island, New York.
Yeah, so people in the comments might know if you get same day naturalization in Long Island, it's a busy place, so they might do it. I just don't know the ins and outs of each office, but that's their call, not yours.
Okay, got it. Thank you for answering my questions. I appreciate it.
Good luck, bud.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, that was AK. Let's go to Jack. Hello.
Hi, good morning, Jack. Can you hear me okay?
I can. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, thanks. I'm calling for my friend who doesn't speak very good English. So she needs to apply for an I-751 this coming September. The backstory is she came to the United States in the year 2000 with a Type B visa. She got
visa.
Yep.
Okay.
And she got married in 2022. So she got her green card in 2023. So she needs to apply in September for the 751.
Yeah.
To remove the conditions for whatever. Anyhow, the story is at the end of last year, her husband went back to Brazil to see his family. And when he was there, his dad looked at him and said, you don't look quite right. There's something wrong. And he went to the hospital and they found a cancer. And he's undergoing treatment. At that time, my friend was thinking of going back to Brazil to see him, but she was also concerned that she wouldn't be able to come back to the United States. So anyhow, he's there. And the reason he decided to stay there for treatment is because he understands the language better, his family's connected, and they have health coverage where he doesn't have health coverage here.
Sure.
So, and also the doctors don't think that he should be traveling right now.
Sure.
That might change by September, but we just don't know. So how should she deal with this with respect to applying for the 751?
So first of all, I'm very sorry this happened to him. I hope he's doing okay. Is he getting good treatment?
Yes, his family's well connected, so he's getting the best possible treatment there. Fortunately.
Good. And when was it that he actually got sick?
Well, I'm not sure if it was at the end of last year or like January or something like that. He went for the holidays, and then he stayed a little bit longer, and then he was diagnosed.
So basically, as we sit here right now, from January of 2025, for the reasons that you stated, they have lived apart.
Yes, that's right, sir.
And she's not been to visit him once.
Well, she was been afraid to because she, and particularly now, at first it was probably because of her job that she couldn't travel right away, but now she's feeling like, oh, geez, I really can't go see him now.
I think we have to look at the whole global situation and not, it seems like they might have broken this up into small little pieces when they really need to be thinking about, I understand the fear that immigrants have of traveling right now. We talk about it on the show all the time. I know that's the thing, but number one, going to be with your husband is going to make the 751 stronger. It's also probably good for your mental health. It's probably what she wants to do. So there's lots of reasons not to travel right now, but I would say that getting her overall green card case approved and for the good of her marriage, she should go. She should have gone as soon as he got sick, as soon as she could. So I think that the best time to have gone would have been as soon as her job allowed her to, but I think that she's going to have a hard time explaining how her husband's sick with cancer in Brazil and she's living here by herself. I think that's going to be a tough sell. Not that it'll get denied, but they're making this case a lot more complicated than it needs to be.
Okay.
If you put immigration to the side, this woman would have gone to Brazil to be with her husband, right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
but overall, we want her to get her citizenship, right?
She wants that too. Yes.
Yeah, and we want her to get her 10-year green card. So, if she rolls in September and files a 751 and they've been living apart for 9 months and he's sick with cancer, I think that's real. They're not going to look too positively on that.
All right.
Yeah, so I would say she needs to get down there as soon as she can, spend as much time down there as she can, and then come up with a plan for. Because I understand everything that you said about him having better chances for better health coverage down there than up here, and I get that as a human being. I don't think USCIS puts much weight in it. They sort of take this approach. Well, only a crazy person would rather get medical care somewhere other than America, right?
Well, yeah, I understand that.
I know it's true what you're saying. Everything you're saying to me, I believe, but I also think that this. I mean, if she rolls into September without having gone to see her very, very sick husband, I think that looks really bad.
But then again, if she goes, she may not be able to come back.
But why can't she come back? She's got a 2-year green card.
Yeah.
I am telling people all the time, if you can avoid travel, avoid travel.
Right.
But with a sick husband of cancer who's getting treatment, there's lots of reasons I think that trumps, no pun intended, the Jim no travel rule. Number one is for 98% of people traveling, they're fine. It's the 2% that I'm worried about. So
okay.
So she wants to not be with her husband and really, really, really harm her long-term chances of getting a 10-year green card and citizenship because of a 2% chance of something bad happening. Most people are coming and going, no problem. I make my videos to talk about the concerns about traveling because of the 1% or 2%, and we hear these stories, right? And I do that because I want people to make educated decisions. But I would have been on the first plane to Brazil to see my wife, or to Egypt if she were sick.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I will. I'll share this information with her.
Yeah, just shoot the video. Thanks, Jack.
Yeah. Actually, just one more thing.
Sure.
So I did speak with him. His English isn't really good, but I also spoke to his father, whose English is much better, and his father doesn't really think his cancer is going to be curable. And if he is to succumb to his cancer, what then?
Well, has the wife been told that?
Yeah.
Once you have your green card, if your spouse passes away, you should be able to get your green card and citizenship. You can get the conditions removed. If your spouse passes away, you can get your citizenship. You'd have to wait 5 years for citizenship, but living apart, you sort of have to now anyway. Like if you want to apply on the 3-year rule, you have to have been living with your spouse for all 3 years now, is pretty much the way that USCIS interprets that.
Right.
So I think that obviously we don't want that to happen, but she should still be able to stay in the United States if that's what she wants to do.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for your time.
If he were to pass away, and God, I don't want that to happen, but if he were to pass away in December and she never went there because she was worried about her immigration status, I think that might be the one thing that actually hurts her chances of getting her citizenship.
Okay. All right. Well put. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Jack. See ya. I saw an interesting comment here from Craig. It made me sort of smile. Jim, I listened to your show, and one thing I'm having an issue with is why so many people are asking your opinion in their immigration matters in a different lawyer, but asking you immigration questions. Yeah, they have one lawyer, but they ask me questions. Daisy says maybe because he's overloaded with cases now. That could be. That's not a bad idea. Craig says I doubt it. Then Daisy says you might be right, but I don't even think Jim cares about that because he has a good heart. Well, I guess I do. Yeah. Shauna says, I wonder that sometimes too, but I assume it's an opportunity for a second opinion for free. Maybe the lawyer was cheaper or they didn't realize they could hire Jim where they live. Yeah, that could be it too. We're all glad that it's not as hot. This is why Palm Springs is a very, very hot place, Nurse Laura. Very, very hot place. It's hot here now. It's supposed to, I think, hit 100 up in Chicago tomorrow, and it's very, very hot. So, all right. Let's go to Ogina. Ogina, did I say your name right? You're on mute.
Thanks. Yes, you did.
Awesome. How you doing?
So, I'm doing good. Thanks so much for all your help. So, a relative is an F1 in the U.S. on a doctorate, and he has an F2 dependent son who is in the U.S. as well. He's a sophomore in high school. So, the F1 student is going to change his status this year to an LPR. Because his child, who is a U.S. citizen, is going to file for him this year. So we were told that the F2 will lose status and will need to probably change to an F1. And we were wondering what time the change will need to be done. Is it before the application or after he gets the green card?
I would do it. I would take care of the F2 child before I took care of the green card holder.
Okay, so it's better to just change first before the application.
How old is the F2 holder?
Is 15, 16 this year.
So that's how old my daughter is. So that's like a sophomore, junior in high school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they're gonna have to find a school. What they need to do is they need to look. There's a website where you can look up SEVIS, SEVIS. That's the part of Homeland Security. That's part of Homeland Security that deals with international students in the United States. They need to find a high school that is willing to give him an I-20. Like most high schools don't understand how this stuff all works, right? So
yeah,
most high schools don't know how to get SEVIS certified so that they can issue an I-20, which is what the F2 is going to need in order to switch to an F1. So I think there's a little bit of an argument to waiting until the F2 is ready for college and then having the parent on the PhD get their green card. I think that there's an argument to be made there.
But what if they have to do it this year? I mean, it's just easier.
Why do they have to?
Sorry?
Why do they have to?
Like freedom of movement, because, and then restrictions as an F1, you can't work fully.
Do they like having
other restrictions? Yeah.
Do they like having a child in the United States? They do?
Yeah.
Do they like that more than freedom of movement? I'm serious. Here's the thing. Let's play it out. Let's play it out the other way. Let's say that the U.S. citizen child who's 21 files for mom or dad, the PhD holder, and luckily you're asking the question now. I have some people who start that and don't really realize that F2 is going to fall out. They just think, oh, the F2 is going to be included on mom or dad's case. So at least you knew enough to ask that question, right? But let's play it out. Let's say that they start the green card process and before they get the kids switched over to an F1, then the green card case could go very quickly. And then if it goes very quickly, then the F2 kid is left out to dry, right? So they're in trouble. So
yeah,
I would say, most parent green card cases do go pretty quickly. It could be 6 months. So maybe they could, get it started. But here's the thing. Most high schools don't know how to do a change of status and to get someone an I-20. I would say 98. No public school is going to do it. So it's going to have to be a private school. Surely it's going to have to be a private school. So they're going to have to pay that tuition rate for 2 years. I would say wait until the kid gets closer to going to college. And then the chances of the F1 being approved, the chances of the change of status from F2 to F1 go up a lot. I think USCIS is going to look askance at high schooler trying to get an F1 when their father is here on an F1, and then it's sort of obvious that they have a 21-year-old child. I think USCIS is going to say, this kid isn't coming as a non-immigrant student to study in high school. This kid's just trying to cover himself while his mom or dad, the PhD holder, get their green card. And so I think the chances of the F2 to F1 change of status getting approved are 50-50 at best. It's not a sure thing.
Okay.
Which is why I'm encouraging everyone in college. Many more college students get F1s than high school students. Most high school students don't get F1s.
Oh, for a change of status? Oh, okay. Because the thing is, he also has an older child that's about to enter college. So we're gonna do they were planning to like change status for him already, because that's required, and maybe just do the other child's change as well. I don't know. So
you can't. I'm just saying that it's like I live in St. Louis. I think there's 3 high schools that know how to do F1s out of the hundreds of high schools here. So I just think you're going to have a hard time finding a school to issue an I-20 for this kid.
Okay.
And
I mean, there's one that can do it.
What'd you say?
We got one that could do it. We found one that could do it.
Have they done it before?
I think so, yes.
Okay, well, I would nail that down.
Because they had, yeah. Okay. Okay.
And I hope they're going to try this. I hope number one, they're going to do premium processing for this, and number 2, I hope they're going to use a lawyer, because this is not an easy. Thanks for the call.
Okay. Okay. Thanks. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye. All right. My I-129F interview is in July 27 in Baghdad. You believe it will still happen? Inshallah, it'll still happen, Nachi. I hope so. Hey, can I seek refugee in America as an Israeli? You think they'll accept me for the conflict? I'm assuming you're talking about asylum, and I don't think you could get asylum in the United States as a resident of Israel right now. I don't think. But who knows? They're letting South Africans in, so what do I know? Let's go to A. Hello.
Hi, Jim. Good morning.
How are you doing?
How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Good. So a few days back, I was on your show, and I was listening to other shows as well since then. And I think one of them you mentioned about you're noticing some cases moving pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So just wondering if you could talk a little bit more about what sort of cases might those be? When were they filed?
Yeah. So we have a citizenship case where we filed it the first week of June, and we received in the mail 2 weeks later, 14 days later, we received an interview notice for 3 weeks after that.
I see. So that's for N400, not any other type of cases, right?
No. That's just one. And then on spouse cases, we're definitely seeing green card interviews. So we got a shitload of green card interview notices in the mail for July on cases that we filed in December and January. So probably 20.
I see. So that's a decent number. And I'm guessing these are 485 cases, right?
Mostly marriage-based adjustment cases, yeah.
Yeah. So got it. So we filed our 751 around that time as well. So it's been like almost 6 months. And
So 751s aren't going fast.
Right. Yeah. And so the other thing is, if 485 was approved without an interview, what's the likelihood of getting an interview for 751?
I think I would ask the question a little bit differently. And the question is, Jim, is everybody now getting any immigration benefit getting an interview? And the answer to that is yes.
I see. Okay.
So, and I would say that's probably heightened for people that got a green card without an interview.
Oh, I see. And since 751s are not going as quickly as 485, it seems like maybe safer to say that they're just going to sit on it until the time comes to file N400.
Oh, I would say when this all went down and things started slowing down, we were telling people to wait to file their N400 until the 751 is adjudicated. But right now we're telling people it's the N400 that actually forces the whole issue. So they actually decide both of them together.
Got it. All right. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate your help.
Bye, A. See you, bud.
See ya. Thank
you. N400 question. Hello.
Assalamu alaikum, Jim. How are you doing?
Walaikum salam. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm Blessed, Alhamdulillah. Jim, first of all, thank you so much. You're doing great for the community. We cannot thank enough. Thank you so much.
My
Uh,
pleasure.
I have two questions and one request, if you don't mind. Three things for you. Two questions on N400. Uh, there's a question. Have you ever worked in prison? I'm basically a system security engineer, and I've designed some security projects for prison. How will that affect if I'll have to answer yes, but I don't see any explanation over there. So how will that affect my N400?
I think that question is, have you ever actually worked physically inside of a jail, prison, or place where people were being held? So I don't think you worked for some like outside engineering company.
Yes,
Yeah, I don't think you have to answer yes to that.
but the point is, the question exactly says, have you ever worked for prison? And the second part is, while designing, there have been past, I have visited again the prisons. I have been in the prison for visit.
Yeah, so I would just say yes to that one. The officer will be a little bit surprised, and then you'll be able to explain it at your interview. I would you could put an addendum at the end of it. Nobody's going to care though. It's not a big deal.
Okay, okay. The second thing, the entire 5 years, I mean, since I came as a student and pursued engineering, I tried my best to minimize any changes. I'm living in the same address, but I just changed one job. But this year, I'm eligible in July. I'm applying next month.
Great.
But in April, my firm, which I'm working for, which I was doing project in prison, we got lost the project. So they asked me to look for some other job, and I switched it, something which I did not like, but I was using my PTO on my previous. So it's an overlap in a job. And now, because I was applying heavily in that time, I started here, it's been 2 months. Now I got another job which I really want to do. And they want me to start in first week of July. Is that overlapping effect? Secondly, should I apply N400 after, if I'm doing, if you allow me to pick the new job, should I do it after that? Or is it going to be any issue?
Live your life, brother. None of this matters for purposes of citizenship.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Thank you. These were the T questions. One last request is, if you visit Philadelphia anytime, I want you to try halal cheesesteak. I want to host that for you.
Oh,
If
send
it's
me an
possible.
email, and I'll send me an email with your contact information, and I'll do just that. That'd be great.
Jazakallah, brother. That will be great. Looking forward. I will just send that today, and feel free. We'll
Perfect.
really love that. There's a very nice place, halal cheesesteak. I want you to try that, and I will be the
That would be
host.
great. I will do that next time I'm in Philly for sure.
Awesome. Thank you, brother. I will be sending you an email. Appreciate it. Assalamu alaikum. Jazakallah, brother. You do great. Keep doing it. I cannot bless and say thank you enough.
Thank you, brother.
Assalamu alaikum.
Good luck with your N400. Let us know when you get it, okay?
For definitely, and I'm one of the members who gonna be, once I get it, you will in that 1,000 people list. I will call you back and say this. You have helped me a lot.
Awesome.
Put a
Thank
good
you.
review in Chicago. I know you're traveling Chicago. I just put a good review in Chicago.
Oh, thanks so much. Have a great day.
Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum salam.
How about that? What a nice call that was. You fams here, everybody wake up. Nurse Laura worked in a prison infirmary, and the people who tried preparing her paperwork messed that up really well. Yeah, we're not big fans of that company, Nurse Laura. You know that. Hey, I'm on a roll. I've picked 2 good movies in a row. I told you that for our anniversary, we watched The Life of Chuck, which was really great. Last night, we watched this movie called, it's on Amazon Prime for free. It's called Deep Cover. And it has, what's her name? Bryce Dallas Howard, who is Ron Howard's daughter and a very good director and actor in her own right. She was in The Help, and she has red hair. I'm sure you recognize her. I think I always get her confused with the other lady with red hair who was in Molly's Game. I forget her name, but they're both great. Anyway, she's in it, and Orlando Bloom is in it. And then the guy, I didn't watch Ted Lasso, but the guy that plays the groundskeeper on Ted Lasso, so it's the 3 of them. They are doing improv, and a police officer in London asked them to help investigate these guys selling cigarettes without the stamps. And then a lot of funny things happen after that. It was really funny. Orlando Bloom. So, dude, I haven't seen Orlando Bloom in like 10 years. And I saw him on the plane. I watched Gran Turismo, which I really liked. That was a lot of fun. It's a silly little movie, but it was a lot of fun, about the kid that played Gran Turismo on his PlayStation and became a race car driver. And then he's in this, and he he thinks he's a really good actor. He thinks he's a really good actor, so he's always trying to like channel Robert De Niro and get into character when they're doing these little improv things. And then the guy from Ted Lasso, he's like really nervous. Like he goes to improv to sort of learn how to communicate to other people. Amani and I are thinking about taking an improv class after watching that, which I think would be really fun. Yeah, everyone's talking about Straw. I got to watch Straw, Matt. I just heard about that the other day. I'm not sure what it's about exactly, but I am going to watch it. All right. Let's go to FB, adjustment of status. Hello.
Good morning, Jim.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Great. I'm great.
Thanks for answering to my call.
Sure. What's up?
I have a question about the affidavit of support.
Oh, is it about filling out the affidavit of support or just generally about the affidavit of support?
We have already done it. So my husband petitioned for me at the end of 2024. We got all the receipt already, but so by the time he was petitioning for me, he had a really good job, enough to sponsor me. Then right after we sent out the package and we received all the receipt, he lost his job. Now we have an interview in 2 weeks, and I'm very worried because he now has another job that is not enough for him to petition for me. Yeah, I'm very worried. I don't know if we should go without a co-sponsor, or do we need a co-sponsor? And I forgot to mention that he recently got a job. He will be making enough money, but he just got the offer letter, and the offer letter is stating his annual income and the estimate starting date, which will be in July. So yeah, I'm very worried right now. So I don't know what to do.
So it probably won't come up because 95% of the time,
Yeah.
the affidavit of support issues are decided at the service center before they schedule the interview. Now, the way it probably will come up, though, in your case is, so basically, as we sit here today on June, what is today? June what? 21st? He's not working today. Like he doesn't have a job right now. He has a new job starting in July.
He has a job, but that job that is not making enough.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So on the paperwork that you guys submitted,
Yeah.
when did you file the case?
December 2024.
Okay, so back in December, he was working at a good job, making good money, right?
Yes.
And then at some point, he stopped working at that job. When did he stop working at that job?
That was end of February.
And then he found a new job at the place where he works now.
No, another place, another good job.
Oh, so he had a good job in December, then a good job in February, and then when did the February job stop?
No, let's say he had a good job in December until February.
Yeah.
And then he got another job that is not making enough money, and he's still working there
But when
until
did he,
now.
I'm trying to find out when he started there.
He started there in March.
Okay, so right after. So
Yeah.
so they're going to ask him, where do you work? And so he's going to say, I work at this company, right?
Mhm.
I've never had an officer ask, how much money do you make at that job, right?
Okay.
So like I wouldn't lead off by saying, oh, hey, you know what? When we filed, it was, I mean, if they ask, what job were you at? Where they say, where do you work? He's going to say he works at he works at Blockbuster Video, right? And that's his current job. He's at Blockbuster. And they're going to say, oh, you left ABC. Yeah, I left ABC in February. Now I work at Blockbuster, but I'm actually starting a new job in July at XYZ company, right?
Yeah.
But then if it comes up, I would have a affidavit of support from a co-sponsor and all the supporting documents to bring with me, because you'll get a request for evidence for it. So, if they ask, are you making as much as you did before, or was there a time where you weren't working, or I'm worried, you just barely made it on the affidavit of support last time, and now I'm concerned that you're not making enough. All those things could happen. Very, very rare. Hardly ever happens. So for that reason, I would, if it were me and I wanted to get my case approved, I would find a co-sponsor. I would fill out an I-864 for them, and I would have all the same supporting documents that you had for your husband.
Okay, so you don't think the new job that he will be starting in July will be enough? Like
No.
okay, offer letter.
Yeah,
Okay.
if this comes up, then it might be. You could say, look, here's a letter, here's an offer letter. He's starting on July 3rd, and here's how much he's going to make. They might take it, but I would think most likely they're going to ask for an affidavit of support. But of course, we're not going to bring any of this up unless we're asked, right?
Yes. Okay. Okay. Got it.
Good luck.
Thank you so much, Jim.
Have a good day.
You too.
All right, I'm going to go to Celicia, then Amadou, then Ola. Celicia, hello.
Hi, Jim. Thanks for having me.
Sure, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Great, thanks.
All right. So I just need a little help in making a decision in regarding to my case. So I did file a marriage-based green card application.
Okay.
I filed it last year, and I went to my interview 3 months ago.
How'd it go?
However, I'm yet to receive a response, and from my perspective, I don't think my interview went well.
Okay, what happened?
So
Can we back up just a little bit? Were you in status at the time that you filed, or were you out of status?
I was out of status.
And how long were you out of status?
I was out of status for about 8 months.
Just everybody, I really like how Celicia answers questions. She repeats the question in the answer. So I said, how long were you out of status? And she said, I was out of status for 8 months. So that's a good way when you're getting ready for your interview. That's a good way because it gives you a little bit of time. You could even hear her thinking about how many months was it. So that was perfect, Celicia. Okay.
Thank
So
you.
you're out of status. Had you ever been married before?
No, I've never been married.
How about your spouse?
He's never been married either.
He's a U.S. citizen?
Yes, he is.
Born here?
Yes, born in America.
Okay. And if I were to ask you on a scale of 1 to 10 at the time that you filed, 1 being very, very little marriage evidence and 10 being a lot, what do you say?
About 1.
Oh, so not a lot of evidence.
No.
Why?
But at the time, the person that was helping me, he told me that I didn't have to submit much evidence. I could wait on them to request it.
Okay,
So
for everybody listening, that's wrong. That's bad advice. The less you submit, the more you can expect scrutiny. Okay, so we only submitted 1, and then you went to your interview, and did they separate you and your spouse?
Yes. So
Okay,
we
so
did
tell me
get a
tell me
stock
everything that
interview.
Tell me everything that happened at the interview. So like the time you check in, the officer calls you back, and then what happens? Walk me through it.
Okay. So we went in. They call us, like, we were there sitting for about 15 to 20 minutes. People that came after us went in before us.
Yeah, that's
Whatever.
not a big.
Uh, when we were both gonna go in, and then he told me that he only needed me first. So I went in. He asked me like the basic question: name, where did I work, what's my home, been living together. Like, probably that's the only question he asked me in regards to the marriage. And then he went straight ahead to the affidavit of support. That's the financial one.
Wow, it's so funny.
So he was,
I just told the last caller they never talk about the affidavit of support, so that's interesting. Okay.
yeah. So they did ask me a whole bunch of questions about the affidavit of support. However, I knew the affidavit of support. I got that person. My husband didn't know much about the affidavit of support. So when I came out the room, they took my husband in, and then they were asking my husband some question about the same affidavit of support. Based on what he told me that they didn't ask any question about me or the marriage. It was just straight into the affidavit of support. However, he told them what he knew and probably what he thought, because the answer that I gave them and the answer that he gave them was somewhat off. I would say probably 40% off.
So
So
I don't
after,
want you to tell me the name of the person that was that signed the affidavit of support. Okay, don't tell me their name. But how did
Mhm.
you know this person?
So it was a friend that actually helped me got this person.
Right. So the person who signed your affidavit of support is someone that you didn't really know?
No, I didn't really know the person.
Like they were a friend of a friend.
Yeah.
Okay. And did you ever meet this person face to face?
Yeah, once. Just one time.
Did you see this person sign the affidavit of support?
No, I didn't.
Did you talk to this person about the fact that they were signing an affidavit of support for you?
Well, not directly to the person. I spoke to the third party. So that's
So
the person who would have.
so I'm just gonna sort of throw this out there. So this would be like somebody you saw. Let's call the person that signed your affidavit of support. Let's call them Josephine. You saw Josephine at a barbecue one time. You met Josephine, and then later on, this middle person told you about Josephine and said Josephine would sign the affidavit of support for you. Right?
Uh, yeah, somewhat like that.
You didn't have a direct conversation with dear Josephine. It's so nice of you to try to help me and sign this affidavit of support for me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for doing that. And that didn't happen.
No.
Did the officer ask you those questions too? Like, does the officer know that you didn't know that person?
He asked me questions like where they live, what's their name, what type of job they do, like questions like that.
But
But
did
I
they ask
did
you?
have certain information.
Did they ask how do you know that? How do you know Josephine?
Yes, yes, they did.
And what'd you say?
I'm
Sherry.
sorry, you hear me?
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm still here.
What did you say when they asked how did you know the co-sponsor?
I told them that it's a family friend.
From a family friend. Okay, now my next question is the person, tell me about how you, and again, I don't want to know names. How do you know the person that connected you to the co-sponsor?
She's actually my friend.
Well, how long have you known her?
More.
Can you get somewhere where the reception's better? It keeps sort of shorting out.
I'm sorry. Let me know if you hear me in there.
It's a little better. Did this person that connected you to the person that signed the affidavit of support, did they help you fill out your paperwork?
Oh yeah, they did.
And did you pay them for helping you?
No.
You didn't?
No, I didn't.
How does the person that helped you fill out the paperwork, how do they know the co-sponsor?
It's a friend of theirs.
Okay. Well, it's completely bizarre that an officer would start a Stokes interview and focus in on the affidavit of support. So what that tells me is there's something about this person signing the affidavit of support that gives them pause. Like maybe they do it all the time, or maybe they didn't provide all the information. Maybe they didn't list everyone on their all the people that they've sponsored before or all of their dependents. It seems like the idea that a green card interview would be focused so much on an affidavit of support tells me that this person who signed your affidavit of support is someone that is on their radar and someone that they're worried about. So I think this is a big problem. Did you pay that person to be your co-sponsor?
No, I didn't.
Good. Did the officer ask you if you paid that person to be your co-sponsor?
No, they didn't ask that question.
And did you have an attorney at your interview?
No, I didn't. That's the thing. I'm trying to get an attorney, and I just need some advice in like what's the next step to make, because it's been 3 months since the interview. I haven't received back anything. I am actually considering to like withdraw the case and probably resubmit. I
I
don't
think
know if that's the best thing to do, so that's why I
I think
was
that's a
trying to.
I think that's a great idea. I mean, if I were your lawyer, and we could help you with this, if I were your lawyer, that's exactly what I would withdraw this case, get a new case, you got to get a new case ready to file, get a new co-sponsor, and get it on file as fast as I can, and then withdraw the old one.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know, we have big problems here. You were out of status at the time that you filed. That's number one on the fraud list. Number two, you've got this whole co-sponsor issue, right? And so then we have tell me what you said, that your answers only matched about 40%. What did your husband say about the co-sponsor?
He couldn't answer most of the question because he honestly didn't know. But it's like when they took us back in the interview room together, they gave us like a white paper to say, okay, this is your answer, this is my answer, and
You
then
still have
it's like,
that? Do you have a copy of it?
no, but I remember exactly what the answers were.
Well, what were they?
So the two answers that were kind of off, when well, they asked us who was there when the affidavit person was signing the paper. I told them it was me and my husband and the person and a friend. However, my husband told them he wasn't there. But in truth and in fact, he was there. He probably didn't know that that was happening at the time.
I thought you told me that you didn't see the person sign it.
Well, I mean, the day when we were actually agreeing and filling out everything. That's what I'm talking about.
I think you're being way too cute with this and way too clever. What do you mean?
Okay,
I asked you. I
so
asked you earlier. Did you? I asked you
you see,
earlier. I asked you earlier. Did you see the person sign the affidavit of support? And you said yes.
okay, Jim. f- the very first time I meet the person, that was when the person agreed on signing the affidavit of support.
Yeah.
All right. When they asked me in the interview if I've ever met the person, I told them yes. And then
Right.
they also asked me who was there when they signed. I used that incident to say yes, that was the day because that's the day they agreed on it. And then my husband,
Your husband told the truth. You didn't tell the truth. Your husband told the truth. That's why your answers didn't match. So now we got a misrep problem.
yeah.
You swore under oath that you were going to answer the questions truthfully, and now it seems that you answered the question untruthfully. So this is
So
a big mess. What
so
does your
what's
husband
your
What does your husband say about all this?
he was confused when he came out the interview.
I mean, lying to an immigration officer is a crime, right?
Yes, I know it is.
So I think that if we were to take over your case, that what needs to happen is, as you said, withdraw the application,
Mm-hmm.
file a new application, and then so this part you're not going to like, answer this question. Have you ever given any immigration officer any information that was false, fraudulent, or misleading? You have to say yes, because you did. Because this whole co-sponsor thing was sort of shady. And then your I-130 will be approved. Your 485, you'll receive a notice of intent to deny, and they're going to tell you that you need a waiver. So we need to start building a waiver case to demonstrate that your husband would suffer extreme hardship if you were deported back to your home country.
Okay.
Because they are probably right now referring your case to the fraud unit, and nothing good's going to happen with the case you have on file. You got to clean all this up. Otherwise, it's your only chance to stay in the United States is to clean this all up.
Okay. So you recommend withdrawing the case and then resubmitting.
but being extremely careful. There's probably 3 or 4 answers that you will have to change. I mean, obviously, one is you have to get a new co-sponsor. 2 is you have to really drill down and say, who is this? I mean, I would be wearing out the person who recommended that I use this person. Unless the officer has some super sense and they're just like, I'm going to take a shot and see if she really even knows her co-sponsor, because that does happen, right? So she might have just been taking her shot, but I think much more likely is this person has been on their radar before. Did they ever ask you the name of the person that connected you to the person that signed the affidavit of support?
No, they didn't.
Okay, good. All right, yeah, I think you need a lot of help, okay?
All right, how can I reach out to you?
Yeah, you should send an email to the office right now and say, I'm Celicia. I was just on the show with Jim at around 11:40 on Saturday, and we'll go from there, okay?
Okay. All right. Thank you, Jim.
Okay, bye-bye. Woo. That was tricky. That was tricky. All right, let's go to Amadou. Amadou, hello.
Hey, sir, how are you doing? Hello?
How are you doing?
I'm good, sir. I want to say I appreciate for the help you've given us.
My pleasure. What can I help you with?
Yeah, sir. I have a little issue. I applied for N400 probably 2 months ago,
Okay.
and I didn't hear anything back from them.
No receipt notice?
No receipt, notice, nothing.
How did you file on paper?
Yeah, I think somebody sent them the paper.
And how did you make the payment? Was it a check or what?
It was a check, yes.
Has the check been cashed at your bank?
I don't know. I sell a lawyer money, and he said he will send them a check. But he did the paper first. Then I think a couple weeks after that, we sent the money.
Say that again.
I think he sent the paper first, and I think a couple weeks after that, he sent them the check.
You can't do it like that. Unless they rejected it and sent it. Did they reject it and send it back?
I didn't receive anything in the mail. I've been checking the mail. I didn't receive anything back.
So are we sure this person is an attorney?
Yeah, he is.
So you got to ask him, did they cash the check?
If he cashed the check,
If the government cashed the check, so he sent them money somehow, right? So he should have proof. He should have proof that it got delivered and proof that the check was cashed. That's how you know the case is underway. But 2 months, he probably screwed something up.
yeah. So this is not normal.
No, none of that's normal. No.
Okay. So I've been like I already submitted I-751 before that, and I was waiting for them, and the time for N400 come, and I submit N400, but he didn't tell me to pay or anything, and I forgot, and I remember later, and I call him and I send him the money, and he told me he's sending a check. I have a. So what I should do is I should make sure they cash the check.
You need to start documenting your interactions with your lawyer. Number one is I would send them an email with a timeline of everything that's happened up until this point. Did this lawyer also file your 751 or is it somebody else?
No, he does file me I-751, but I receive a notice for I-751.
So I would send him a chronology of the N400. I would send him an email. It should say, "Dear lawyer," it should say N400 questions. As you know, I hired your firm on March 3rd to file my naturalization case. My understanding is that you sent out the case on April 3rd, and we've never received a receipt notice or anything. Please give me all documentation that you have as to whether or not the case is actually on file. If the case is not on file, please let me know by the end of the day on Friday.
Okay. The other issue, I just wanted to know last time before I get my conditional green card, they separate me and my spouse, and they did very tough interview. And they come home early in the morning to check.
Right.
Then they prove the case. I just want to know with I-751 if this is gonna be the same.
Maybe.
So I gotta be heavy with the proof. I gotta bring a lot of proof and stuff.
For sure.
Okay. The other issue is I filed for N400, and from what I've heard, that you don't you have to not have anything on your, like, they look at the small things, and I have a couple of stuff, like a couple violation, and I have lately I have contact with police because of warning trespassing. They bring me a notice with a warning trespassing. I just want to know if this is can lead to a denial.
What was the charge about?
Uh, I was at a gas station, and somehow I took a coffee, didn't pay attention, and I take it out and I forgot to pay for it. They sent me the police at home, and with a notice that I'm not allowed over there. Warning, they say warning, stay out on the notice. And the police explained to me, they told me that this gas station, they don't want me over there for 1 year. So if
Yeah,
I can,
that's probably not a big deal. I mean, that probably won't keep you from getting your citizenship. Thanks, Amadou. All right, I wanted to end with one last thing. I wanted to show you guys something. I made a video about this for next week. I'm sure some of you have seen this story, but it's pretty crazy. So let me get this for you. So this is a story out of New York about fake immigration courts. So there are immigrants who are facing deportation. So this guy named N, this is a story originally from Documented. So an immigrant named N had a video. Well, so he was in deportation, and he found a lawyer on Facebook, and the Facebook lawyer said, send me your paperwork and I will look it over. So they look it over, and they tell him that his court date has been moved up, that he has an earlier court date, and that they're going to make an argument that he should not get deported. So the immigrant goes to this hearing on Zoom, and there's this guy, a USCIS department. See, it's even spelt wrong. Department USCIS. And he has boxes back there with proceedings and another box with deportation on it. And of course, he never looks at the camera. So this guy's actually on the call, as is a fake judge. So understand that everybody's working together. So the fake immigration lawyer, there's a fake judge in a robe, and there's this person acting like they're the officer. And they have a hearing, and the fake lawyer charges $5,000 to the immigrant to try to save him from deportation. So they have this hearing, and the judge says, well, I've decided to let you stay in the United States. Congratulations, you're going to get a green card. You just have to pay $900, and you have to pay for these certified papers, which are going to be another $2,300. So the immigrant's really happy, thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to get my green card and I'm not going to get deported. And so, but he thought that it was $99 a page for this certification. It's really sort of weird. So $900 to stay, $2,300 to get the paperwork certified. So at this point, the immigrant talks to an immigration clinic up in New York, and they say, don't be sending that money. This is fake. And they find out that the whole thing was fake. So that's really, really bad, don't you think? It's really, really bad. But go above and beyond that. These fake lawyers told the immigrant to skip his court date, to skip his real court date, because they were taking care of it in the fake made-up Zoom court. And he got ordered deported. So this is a pointer for everybody. You know, we talk on here a lot about fake lawyers and notarios, form fillers. If you are thinking about hiring an attorney, including yours truly, you should check the state bar in which they practice. Like that person in New York should have gone to the New York State Bar, run the lawyer's name through there, and said, and is this person a real licensed lawyer, and to see what happens. So this person's in big trouble. Now, they have been the victim of a crime, so in theory, they might be eligible for a U visa, but that's no consolation. They have an order of deportation, so they got to try to get that set aside. I know that fears are high, tensions are high. Immigrants are very susceptible to this. It is terrible, Matt. It's terrible, terrible, terrible. So all we can do is educate people. But yeah, they're really taking advantage of people. In the article, it said that New York has seen a huge spike in immigrants being scammed. So be careful, people. Be careful, people. You know, once we had a lady in Chile, I think, or Colombia, who went to a fake visa interview and paid money for her spouse visa case. So she sent us pictures, and it wasn't the embassy at all. It was like a trailer home with a U.S. flag on it. So very, very easy to get taken advantage of. Don't let it happen to you. Check to make sure your lawyer is licensed and legit. I hope you all have a great weekend. No show tomorrow. We'll be back on Monday. Monday's show, we're going to do a little bit late. So Monday's show will be, we might do a show on Monday. Oh, no. Monday's show is at 11 on Monday. 11 on Monday will be the show. So we'll see you guys then. Have a great weekend. Thanks, everybody on TikTok for watching. Thanks, everybody on YouTube for watching. We will see you next time. Remember, if you want to get in the waiting room and ask me a question, 314-97, text the word show to 314-470-3300. If you want to ask us, if you want to hire our firm, 314-961-8200. Thanks, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys. I'm great about that, other than trying to help people who are in the state of these